Hey everybody, this is Dave Nassi with NextLevelGuitar.com, and today we're going to talk about playing in a drop tuning, and we're going to talk about how to solo in this drop tuning and just kind of make things a bit more comfortable for all you heavy metalers out there, or your blank core type dudes out there, whatever they like to say these days. Hey everybody, really important, mustn't forget, please click on that link that you see below in that YouTube text box if you'd like a free video that is not available on YouTube, along with a coinciding ebook that has a bunch of different scales and voicings of chords and all kinds of neat shapes and information in it. All you got to do is click on that YouTube text box that you see that link in right down there below, and you get all the information that you need. There is over 950 lessons on the website, so don't hesitate. Click on that text box. Let's check this out real quick. I'm in drop B, so I'm going to call off the strings, so that way if you're not in tune with me and you would like to be, it'll be really easy to do. So we have, on the high E string, we have a C sharp. On the B string, we're going to have a G sharp. On the G string, it's going to go down to an E. Then, of course, our fourth string, our D string, is going to go to B. Our fifth string, or our A string, is going to go down to F sharp. And then our low string is down to B as well, which creates your drop tune. Okay, everybody, so if you have checked out some of the previous lessons here on the site, I did a lesson that incorporated basically how to riff out in these drop tunings and how to relate some of the scale shapes that we've done just to create these riffs. We're going to talk today about how to solo or use the pentatonic scale in a drop tuning, and we'll incorporate some of these more, for lack of a better way of saying it, kind of some Dimebag Darrell-ish type bluesy riffs within this tuning, but also just overall making it more comfortable for you to play when you're drop tuned, because things can be different. Pitches change, notes change, and sometimes your reference can change as well. So what we talked about before, just to kind of recap a little bit, was that if I'm technically in a D minor tonality with my open tuning, because that's what we're ringing out to be. Now, we are in drop B. I must say, if there's any confusion to the notes that I'm referencing to, sometimes, just for easier transfer of information, I may refer to this as though we're in standard tuning, and I'll make sure and point that out so there's no confusion. But way we're looking at this one, we're ringing this out. All the soloing that you can do would best be said to be played in what would be your 10th position or your D minor pentatonic scale. It's going to fit really well with that rung out low string or that droning low note. Now, in addition to that as well, if we're going to think of it like D minor, we would say D is a relative minor to F, and as I said, check out some of these previous lessons that we did, and that is going to cover you with your scale shapes, and it's going to cover you with how to riff out in this particular position. So, let's say here we've got a nice little rhythm that we're doing here in D, and it'll go like this. Now, that's a riff that I created that was recorded a while back. It's all safe to use it because I wrote it. You see what I'm saying? So we're good. Now, this was based primarily around a pentatonic scale. That was kind of my thinking. It almost sounds pretty Pantera or Dimebag Darrell-ish in that respect. And that's just going to kind of be our driving rhythm. And I'm going to break that down here in a minute. Now, like I said, right out of the gate, D minor pentatonic scale is going to work. If you're not used to shifting it in this tonality, let's do that in a couple of these positions and talk about some of the licks that you can do. So, I'm drop tuned, so my pentatonic shape is going to kind of change. I'm going to go up and go 12-15 to initialize that 6th string. Go back to the 10th position. Position 1 of your pentatonic. So of course, if you're fluent in any style of pentatonic play, or you have anything that you've learned in other songs that is reminiscent of pentatonic style play. You can put it in this 10th position and it's going to work over your detune. So let's just throw a couple of licks out here that are just fun to play within it, just to give as examples. So I'm going to do this first, and this is always a good lick to do. Kind of a simple lick, but it stylistically can work in a couple of different genres. What I'm doing is I'm hammering and pulling off. So I'm starting on my 10th fret, upstroke, hammer on, pull off, grab that note, and extend the pinky out to 15. Give it a little bit of resolution. Nice little position to think of there. So, now within your riff that you may have created, why don't you guys play that riff with me? It's pretty easy. I'm going to pivot off that low string. And I'm going to go up and I'm going to solo a little bit in D minor pentatonic and go back to that riff. Always good to have something to go back to. If you can play a little bit of rhythm and in equal bars of what your rhythm is solo, so in this case if I'm playing for a count of 4, I'm going to solo for a count of 4 and go right back into that. And that's a really nice way to kind of get associated with playing in this tuning. Let's take this D minor pentatonic shape and move it around a little bit and see where else we can put this so we're not just stuck in position 1. Now, I'm going to take this and I'm going to think about my note that resolves here on the 5th string. Right on what would be in standard tuning my D note. A lot of times when people ring out this D, they'll just fret a single note on that 3rd string 2nd fret to bring out a rich tonality instead of just going open completely without hitting anything. You can hear the difference in it. That's really important. So my pentatonic scale in this position, this would technically be your 3rd shape of your pentatonic. Again, little confused on your pentatonic scales or your shapes. I know for a fact Dave's got great videos on that. I've done a couple myself, so go to the website and check out anything that's tagged pentatonic scales or shapes or positions, and it'll cover you. You can come right back to this and you'll be right on track. So what I've got here is I'm going to do my 3rd position pentatonic, but I've got to shift up again on my low string, and that gives me this. Create some cool solos and riffing right in with those just basic notes. So let's look at that riff. Kind of always going to that D to help it resolve. I'm hitting an open string, I'm hammering on 5 7, 3rd fret, 5th fret. You've got that pentatonic shape right up there as well. So let's think of how else we can incorporate another element of the pentatonic into that. So if I think 4th position of my pentatonic, it's going to look like this in relation to this tuning, referring to it as a D pentatonic as if we're in standard, and it's going to go like this. 7, 10, 5, 8 now. Just focusing on the lower notes of the pentatonic. That's part of 4th position pentatonic. Let's make sure we get this right. 7, 10, 5, 8, 5, 7. 5, 7, 3, 5, 3. Back to 5 on the 5th string. So, I'm going to play a little bit back to back between these shapes and see what we can make out of it. Sounds like a riff, just kind of going through it. They're really, really basic, and you'll find with these tunings and this distortion and this low pitch and range, those old tired riffs that everybody else has done sound totally new. That's why everybody drop tunes, is because those old ideas sound completely fresh and innovative again in a different tune. So now, got this low droning note here. I want to do a little pentatonic play in the first position pentatonic up on the tune set. Double stop. Now, for all you shredders out there and that don't like this bluesy stuff, don't you worry. Hold on to your chair. We're doing something cool. Now, I want to riff out a little bit, thinking pentatonically, not diatonically, which is those 3 note per string sounds. Now, every once in a while, within this kind of a shape, you're going to see or hear something that maybe wants to take it somewhere else. And that's what all of these power chords are for. So it's going to follow those scale shapes. Now, one thing to also mention too, because this is going to be a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of solo. In a lot of music today, you hear this note. And if you're listening to a record, you're like, I can't tell what the chord is. I'll bet you 95% of the time it's this. Huh. I lost some of you, I think, with this chord, just because it's so deep, really throaty. It's one single note right off that first fret. But you hear that drop all of a sudden. Okay, so those are a couple of key things to think about within this shape. Now, in the key of F, again, standard tuning, 2, 3, and 6 are minor, 1, 4, 5 is major, and 7 is diminished. What am I talking about? The notes within the scale. So that can be applied if you're comfortable with some of your sweep tonalities and different arpeggios, along with these power chords as well. So let's say we have this. This brings out kind of a D minor tonality, like I said, again, standard tuning. I'm going to go up to this position of the guitar. My root note is here, and I have my arpeggio. I go now thinking detuned here, right? In this particular case, I'm referring to this in standard, okay? So we have a D, this would be our E, this would be what would be like an F chord. I'm going to play a major arpeggio to go with that. And we're talking about F in this particular case. D, E, F. My root note is shaped. Another place to kind of play this and have it work out and have everything kind of be a little bit different, but yet you're matching tonalities with the chords here. We also have a G minor. Within this particular case, it's going to totally work. G is my root note here. Goes with that power chord there. So right away, if you had a riff that went, I could do a D minor arpeggio for this chord. G minor. Pentatonic. Now within our pentatonic scale, think of what would be your natural minor scale, and you can get some more of those 3 note per string patterns in there. That's going to look like this. So if you're comfortable with your alternate picking, you have all kinds of options that we could do within this shape. Any of those picking patterns that you've spent time working on. So the main focus of what this is recognizing within these tunings where we can play and how we can make it useful to you. That's what's the most important thing. So again, this is a two-parter. For the riffs and everything like that, we've got a nice video that will focus on the scale shapes or the 3 note per string scale shapes that gives you the riff ideas. Now you've got something that's going to show you, hey, if I'm ringing out in this tuning, I can play off my pentatonic scale in this position here, 12th fret, or 10th fret. I can use my pentatonic scale if I'm comfortable enough with it to move it throughout the fretboard, and in addition to those scale shapes, do a little bit of riffing. If I hit a chord, I know what arpeggio can go with it. And we just kind of bookend all these ideas and leave it up to you, the listener, viewer, to come up with something creative with it. So I hope you find this helpful. This is information to me that was really, 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 really thankful to get when I got from my teacher, just as far as how to put all this stuff together. When you tune down your guitar, things change. Tonalities become different. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video and the content in the video. Go to the website. I've just been informed there is over 950 lessons on that website. So check it out. What are you doing? I'm done. Go listen, look at it. It's all there for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching the video, and I'll see you next time.